the Astros drew it up. Justin Verlander was pitching the game of his life the first 3 innings. And then a little snafu with the glove. 3 runs came across, then 2 runs the next inning. And then the Astros just didn't have any answers for the Phillies bullpen. I mean, Jeremy Pena almost dropped a pop fly. If you would have told me that the Astros are going to be down 0-1 in the World Series in Game 1 after Kyle Tucker hits 2 home runs, I would tell you that that was a dream scenario for the other team. But we're going to talk about this and what the Astros need to do to cement Game 2 and go forward and try to still capture another World Series title on this edition of Locked On Astros.
Hello and welcome to Locked On Astros, your daily Astros podcast. Here are your hosts, Eric the Man Huysman and Brett H-Town Wheelhouse Chancey.
We are Locked On Houston Astros, and we hope that you join us for a daily Locked On Astros podcast. My name is Eric Huysman. You can find me on Twitter at Eric Talk Stros. Find the show at Locked On Astros, your team every day. Brett, where can they find you at?
Well, they can find me on the couch sulking after a Game 1 loss. What the hell happened? Like, this is unacceptable. Oh, I'm sorry. Hey, you can find me at H-Town Wheelhouse on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. You can find me at Stros411 on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Always positive. Positive. I freaking hate the Phillies. Always Stros.
Alrighty. So, yeah, guys, thank you for making us your first listen every day. Whether it's on YouTube, make sure you keep on subscribing to us. We're trying to get to the magical 10,000 mark. I don't know what that's going to do for us, but it's just a cool number. So go and subscribe to us on YouTube and go and make us your first listen on Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcast. Even after the Astros lose Game 1 of the World Series, make us your first listen every day. So, this game started off and Astros fans were chanting, "We want Houston," mocking Phillies fans. You're up 5-0. Justin Verlander's throwing a perfect game, and he looks basically unhittable. And then he messed up a play. I mean, that wasn't the only thing, but he messed up a comebacker to the pitcher. And if he would have fielded that right, he could have got a double play to end the inning. Instead, all those runs scored. And so I know people are comparing him to Clayton Kershaw, and he's 0-6 for a reason and all this. This was just a series of bad luck and bad pitches. And even Justin Verlander said today, he said, well, my team gave me the lead today, and my team gave me a 5-run lead, and I wasn't able to hold it. I feel like 99% of the time, I'm able to hold it. Today, I wasn't. I need to do better. No excuses. And for 3 innings, he was doing better. He was the vintage Justin Verlander. But once they got their first hit, everything changed.
Yeah, everything did change. Changed on a dime. It changed because you thought, wow, okay, you got to Aaron Nola. And Kyle Tucker hit the 2 home runs, was having the game of his life, had all the scrutiny because he was taken way out of context all day after media day when he said we would like to sweep him. He didn't call a sweep. He didn't predict a sweep.
Right.
He just said what any player's thinking. Like,
he said it'd be nice.
Yeah, it'd be nice. But people blew it out of proportion. People took his little comment and they clipped it. And all playoff long, Dusty Baker has made the right moves. And I know that Justin Verlander's glove ultimately led to this, but not pulling him sooner hurt. Putting Luis Garcia in hurt. And Trey Mancini, love the guy. Great story. Great human being. Should not get another at-bat in the next 3 games or any game in the World Series going forward. He is an absolute zero at the plate. There are no excuses. I am always positive, always Stros, but I'm going to speak truth tonight. And I'm going to speak truth to power. The Houston Astros aren't dead, number one. So if you're Chicken Little and the sky is falling, leave. But the Astros lost a game that I felt like was a must-win once the Phillies tied it, Eric. And this loss stings. This long might reverberate into tomorrow. And with Zach Wheeler on the mound, if you don't man up, and if the Astros don't go into Phillies ballpark in game 3, tied 1-1, I'm not sure what counterpunch they're going to offer Philly in Philadelphia.
Yeah, I had a lot of concerns with Dusty Baker, how he managed the bullpen. Like this whole playoffs, he's been doing great. But then he kind of changed things up today. I mean, I know during the regular season, we saw him kind of stretch Brian Abreu into 2 innings. He looks so dominant in the first inning. Why not save him for tomorrow's game? Why try to stretch him out? And then so he got into some trouble. Then you had to bring in Hector Neris with the bases loaded, Neris with bases loaded, and this is the second time in the postseason that Neris came in with the bases loaded, and he actually got the strikeout, but he threw 5 pitches, and then you took Neris out of the game, and so you used one of your bullpen pieces there. And then you had Montero in the game who only threw 7 pitches or something like that. And then then that's 2 pieces of your bullpen you took out of it. And then that's one of the reasons why you had to go, because you're down to Will Smith, you're down to Ryan Stanek, you're down to Luis Garcia and Jose Urquidy. So at that point, they're not going to go Urquidy in a close game like that. I'm sorry, they're not going to go Urquidy in a close game like that. So I think that they're trying to do kind of what the Phillies did by bringing in Suarez. Is that his name?
Yes, Ranger Suarez. Yes.
Yeah. So
Ranger Suarez, but I mean, the only time he faced him this year, Eric, he gave up 3 home runs. I mean, look, these guys that came in and did the job, it's not like they've dominated us in the past. Dominguez gave up 2 runs when he faced us last time, and it was just. Now, I will say this, because the freaking umpire behind the plate doesn't get off the hook either. This guy had a terrible strike zone. The first 2 strikes that Jose Altuve saw were like a foot off the freaking plate. I mean, this strike zone, we need an automatic strike zone call machine like right now. Like Major League Baseball Umpire Association, you should be ashamed of yourself. The umpire was incredibly inconsistent, and it hurt the Astros more than it helped the Astros, and it wasn't even. I'm sorry, and I'm not saying we're victims because of that, but I'm saying that didn't help the cause, and that could have altered some at-bats, because when you're a batter and you have 2-1, or you're down 0-2, or you're at 3-1, or you're at 2-1, you know what I'm saying? Like, it changes everything. It changes what a pitcher throws in the approach, and that umpire behind the plate was absolutely terrible. I would much rather, like, I was sitting there going, where's Angel Hernandez when you need him? Like, he's not this bad, surely. They were bad tonight, Eric. But then again, as a team, you can't blame an umpire. You can't wait for other people to make mistakes or blame them. The Astros have to own this. The Astros have to take responsibility. Kyle Tucker should go out in the locker room and light everybody up and say, I don't know where your bats were, but my bats showed up. Y'all need to freaking man up, because we're not going to Philadelphia 0-2. And you know what, Mancini? Sit your butt on the bench. Man, I cannot believe that they lost a game. They were up 5-0. 5-0, Eric.
It's a World Series.
It doesn't matter.
Crap
You're
happens.
up 5-0. You're the 106-win Houston Astros. This is the Phillies. I'm sorry, Philadelphia. Yeah, you have been playing great, but your team is not better than the Astros. But then I guess at the end of the day, if you can beat us, then I guess you're better. It's infuriating. It's unacceptable, and they better right this ship tomorrow.
Alrighty, so I know that if you listen to Bet Online, they probably had you betting on the Phillies in this game, and because they're the underdogs, and so in this situation, you probably would have made some money. Hopefully, you're not Astros fans betting on him, on the Phillies. But definitely, Bet Online is a great place to go if you're trying to figure out who to bet with. So BetOnline.net is your number one source for betting football and the start of the new basketball season and the World Series. Find all the latest player developments, team matchups, news, podcasts, prop bets, anything that you want to do, and in-depth analysis on every game. And as always, BetOnline remains your continued source for all your sports wagering information with live betting and up-to-the-minute scores for every sport out there. The fastest and easiest way to check in on all your favorite games and events, including the MLB World Series, MMA, boxing, and golf. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to learn more. Bet online, it's where the game starts.
Eric, you know who I feel bad for tonight?
Who?
Well, maybe I shouldn't feel too bad for them because I guess they had the scratch to spend. But all those people that spent money on those tickets tonight, man, like, I'm really glad I wasn't at game one. I would be going to guest services asking for a freaking refund. Like, this is not what I paid for. This is not what I came to watch. An absolute obliteration. And look, JT Realmuto said it in his post-game interview. I was listening to ESPN radio, had to go pick up my son. And he said, look, those guys over there can play. They're going to come out tomorrow, and we got Zach Wheeler, but we still got, he goes, it's going to be fun. The emotions were all over the place. JT Realmuto, okay, was I the only one annoyed by the post-home run interview by Ken Rosenthal? Like,
That's
that
what they were
was
doing in the NLCS as well.
okay. Maybe I was a little sensitive because it was against the Astros. I was like, what are you doing interviewing a guy, like rubbing it in our face? I was so mad. I was like, this is stupid. I want old baseball back. I want the old game back. But yes, this outcome, Eric, this stings. I mean, we can't say enough that the Astros had Yordan Alvarez, Alex Bregman, Kyle Tucker up to bat to win the game.
Mm-hmm.
You had Bregman on third base to tie the game. What is going on? I remember a time in my life when the Astros were 7-0 in the playoffs and they hadn't lost a game in 25 days. And that seems like a long time ago now.
Right. So let's focus on some of the good parts of this game because I feel like we're focusing on the negative. Kyle Tucker had the 2 home runs, and it was great. So Fox didn't interview Tucker, but I don't know. It just felt like the announcers just were like leaning the Phillies way, and A-Rod was leaning the Phillies way as well, but. Tucker, he just looked like he was locked in. Yeah, he got that out in that inning. And yes, he got out twice, but he had 3 hits in this game, drove in 4 runs. So overall, a great game. He had a great play in right field where I don't know how he was able to hold a runner at third base. That runner eventually scored the first run of the game against Justin Verlander, but he made a great throw towards home, and that stranded the third base coach held the runner. But this was Kyle Tucker's game. This was Kyle Tucker's coming out like, okay, yes, I can hit home runs in the World Series. I can do everything. I can be a contributor in the World Series. So I think this was Kyle Tucker's wake up game. Unfortunately, yeah, you had 10 hits overall. Gurriel had 2 hits. Bregman had 1 hit. Pena had 1 hit, that double. And then you had Altuve with kind of it was a big hit. I mean, it led to a stolen base. That stolen base was even a little bit controversial at the end. But
I was like, no. I literally yelled no in my living room. I think I woke up my wife. I was like, no, like, don't steal. I was like, I thought he was going to get gunned down.
Yeah. So there's a lot of good things that happened today's game. The Astros bullpen held the Phillies down for 4 innings scoreless. So you can look at that positive after Verlander left. So
Eric,
a positive. Joshua Martinez says the positive is it's only game 1. Yeah.
Okay.
The
Look,
series does not. And
look.
Hold on. Ryan Stanek just said it after the game. He said that the series is not won after. Let me see what he says. The series isn't won or lost today. So that's
No,
true.
someone said Mattress Max nuns couldn't save the Astros. Hey, look, let the people get their frustrations out, okay? Look, you can be mad. Of course, Alex Bregman with another clutch hit if you want a positive.
Yeah.
But
I'm
look,
trying to
here's
be
the
an
thing.
irrational one here.
Well, wait, hold on. Dude,
No,
no, no, no,
you're being
no.
upset at me.
I
That's fine.
No, I'm being rational. Okay, I'm being a realist right now. Okay, I I remember when I first started on this show with you, how you used to accuse me of being like the homer, and no, dude, like I'm the ultimate company guy when it comes to the Astros. Like, I honestly would put my fandom and my passion for the Astros against anybody in this room, anybody listening. I promise you, nobody has more passion for this team than I do. Plain and simple. I'll just say it. I am the GOAT when it comes to that. But I can recognize real when I recognize real, and game recognize game today. The Phillies are serious. Now, if there is a team in the league, now listen to me. If there is a team in the league that has a counterpunch and can withstand a blow like this, it is the Houston Astros.
Right.
It is the Houston Astros because they have the ability to come back. They do in a 7-game series have the depth. But you absolutely, tomorrow is a must win.
Mm-hmm.
Tomorrow's a must win. You can't go to Philly down 0-2. You cannot, 100% cannot go down 0-2 because I don't think it goes our way at all. But they have to turn the tide. They have to not just counterpunch in game 2. They have to shock Philadelphia in game 3. And I want to see a freaking pouncing. I want Philadelphia beaten into submission with multiple runs, like 10 runs, 2 games in a row. I want the Astros offense to just go nuts on them. I want their pitchers to lose their will to walk out on the field with the Philadelphia Phillies uniform. That's how bad I want the Phillies to be beaten. But I don't know that they can beat this team like this. And if you're going to get in a grind with them like this second game, man, like, you got to come up with the hits. You got to quit swinging at the ball that's low and outside. I mean, these aren't even pitches that are competitive pitches. These are pitches that are 40 feet off the plate.
Yeah.
At what time are the Astros going to start swinging at the first pitch? That's a perfect pitch right down the freaking middle of the plate, and stop swinging at the fourth or fifth pitch. That's a slider that's 8 feet off the plate. That was part of the problem. You had Pena look at 2 perfect pitches, and then he strikes out on a slider he had no business swinging at. Okay, Pena, clutch boy, you got to step it up. You can't do that in the World Series. That to me is rational. I mean, this team cannot make excuses. This team, I'm positive here. I'm positive that this team can come back. I'm positive that thing's not over. But if they expect to lose leads like this and come back and be competitive, it's not going to happen. This is not the Yankees. The Yankees sucked, y'all. The Yankees were terrible. The Mariners were a joke. Period. In the story. We came back down from 7-2. It was not a problem for us. Okay, we swept both those teams. They were not playoff teams. Okay, the freaking Phillies. Holy crap! Like, they punch us in the mouth. And like Rocky said, it's not whether you get punched in life; it's what you do when you get punched.
Yeah.
Are you going to get up and are you going to keep moving? I think this team's going to keep moving. I think no, don't fire Dusty. It's not all on Dusty. This offense didn't score more than 5 runs, period, end of story. That's as much on them as it is the manager. If someone doesn't do their job, someone has to step up. If someone isn't doing their job, the other person has to step up and do their job. Altuve's got to get hits. Altuve has got to get hits. I don't want a bloop single. I don't want a stolen base. I want an RBI. I want a double. I need Altuve to produce.
Yeah.
Where's Jordan? I need Jordan to produce.
Yeah. So in other words, Rob Thompson, I think he outmanaged Dusty Baker a little bit today.
Oh, yeah.
He brought the right guys in. He did. Nola was the only one the Astros really got to in this game for the 5 runs, of course. But after that, they kind of shut him down. So I'm it was a frustrating game. It was one of those games that you can't let it get you down too much, but we've never won a game one of the World Series. The Astros are now 3-10 at home games. So during the World Series, so where's the home field advantage? So it just, yeah. Somebody put this. World Traveler says that Thompson kind of managed this like it was Game 7, and he did. When you're playing the Houston Astros, you have to play that because the Astros are a good team. The Phillies know that. The Phillies know that you have to really play your guard. That's why they brought in Game 3 starter Ranger Suarez to get out some left-handers, and he may still pitch in Game 3, but they also may bring in Noah Syndergaard to pitch Game 3 and then have him pitch Game 4. But I think that they did the right moves. Unfortunately, yeah. I mean, now if Dusty Baker's moves did work today, then great. I think that you could have got a
Well,
little bit more out of Neris today. I think you could.
Neris actually should have gone out in that next inning. I don't like. Look, you got so many guys in there. What is with the routine of one inning, one inning, one inning, one inning, Presley? It's like I get that, right? And let's be honest, you know why he rolled Verlander back out there, right? He was trying to give Verlander his win. That's what he was trying to do. And now's not the time to get someone their first win in the World Series. Now is the time to win your first game in the World Series. Now is the time that everybody wants to win one for Dusty. The reason why I put the chess, not checkers, is because I had been saying that Dusty Baker's been playing chess, not checkers, and someone flipped that on me. I don't know if they were referencing that.
Right.
But yeah, Rob Thompson, look, this Philadelphia Phillies lineup has a respectable lineup. Their defense has been a miss all year. It didn't look that way tonight. They were very good defensively. There was a one play that Zach Eflin threw the ball where it pulled the first baseman off, Reese Hoskins off the base. But other than that, they were amazing. I mean, the fact that Altuve was safe was by just, I mean, you could split a hair 4 ways on a frog's back with that throw. I mean, it was I just like, this team can come back. This team can still win the World Series. There are still 2 teams playing. It's not just the Phillies.
Yeah.
But now you make it all the more hard, Eric. You make it incredibly harder and more difficult than it needs to be. And I just hope that the ball bounces their way because you're going to need a little bit of luck, it looks like right now.
Yeah. So leaving Verlander in a little bit too long may have been a little bit bad decision, but he's Justin Verlander. He's earned some of that. So I can see where Dusty did that, but at the same time.
But has he earned it? Has he won a game in the World Series?
Not in World Series. But
okay. So he hasn't earned it. I mean, I get it, but at some point, a player earning it and a team's end result is more important than a player getting his win.
Yeah.
I mean, it's because Justin Verlander said it in the media day. I don't care about a win. I want to put my team in a position to win. Okay, you did. You just gave it 3 runs. Go to the bench.
Yeah.
You're good. Thank you. 4 and a third innings. Bye-bye. All right.
Yeah.
Brian Abreu, come out here. Brian Abreu, give me 2.5, 3 innings. Stanek, come in, give me an inning.
The comments are crazy today, dude. But
I love it. Oh,
yeah.
we got an Atlanta guy. 3 games in Philadelphia is going to suck for you guys. Well, guess what, Atlanta? You're at home. Whatever.
We are very well aware that that Verlander giving up 5 runs was what led to this loss. Okay, but one thing that a lot of Astros fans are pointing at is why not bring in Ryan Stanek instead of Luis Garcia? Stanek is somebody that we haven't seen that much this postseason. He's got a good arm, and he's more used to coming into these situations. And then once you exhausted all your other relievers, then you can bring in Luis Garcia for the long game, like we saw in Game 3 of the ALDS. So here's what Dusty Baker had to say on that. He said on the Astros matchup sheet, it said that Luis Garcia was the choice for the 10th inning over Ryan Stanek. So according to the matchups, the numbers, all the calculations.
What is that?
I don't know. But yeah, so
Okay. I'm sorry. Someone said Jack wasn't trying to be rude. He was trying to be nice.
no,
Okay.
no,
Oh,
yeah,
okay. Well, he's an Atlanta fan, so sorry. Hey, sorry. Look. I'm a little on edge here. Okay. I'm probably gonna need to call my therapist tomorrow after a game like this. I'm gonna be
mhm.
like, "Do you take Saturday calls?" And she's gonna be like, "No." I'm like, "I need to call you. It's an emergency." So I just need the Astros to take care of business. Eric, will the real Astros please stand up, and will they take control, and will they quit this narrative? Oh, the NL East, the team of destiny, blah, blah, blah. No, this is all about winning and losing. This is all about not taking care of the job. And this is all about, sorry, Jack. He said he'd rather Houston win. Sorry, Jack. I saw the Atlanta and I got a little triggered because I haven't forgotten last year. And anyway, so
He's a
yeah,
Braves fan. Of course, he's not going to like the Phillies.
well, I know. Look. Hey, like I said, I'm a little on edge. Maybe I need to go get a drink or something to chill out. But I just, Eric, please tell me this is a freaking dream because this feels like a nightmare right now. Is it Halloween yet?
No, but Cameron Maben was wearing his
Oh,
2017 World Series ring
freaking
after
flip flopper.
saying, "Well, I don't think the Astros earned the World Series ring and the ring they have," and on New York TV, and then he's like in front of the whole world, "Oh, you see my ring?"
Mm,
So
mm.
it's just ironic, but yeah. So I think I saw the stat that teams were up 5-0 in a or something in a World Series game were 5-220 up until that point. So once you get the 5-0 lead, it's pretty much a guaranteed win, except for here. So it's just I think it was just a series of just bad events. But one thing that we have is that Kyle Tucker is the first members of the Astros to have a multi-homer game in the World Series. And so now he's up on the list with Robinson Chirinos with 2 World Series home runs. Robinson
Robinson
Chirinos.
Chirinos, that's great. Wow, that just goes to show you that individual accomplishments mean jack squat, like winning a World Series game for a pitcher. Doesn't mean anything because this is a team sport. And that's where I think this team, I still think that if the Astros are able to extend this, get this to game 6 and 7, because I don't think they win 3, and I don't think they win tomorrow and then win, 3 in a row in, Philadelphia. But if they can get the win tomorrow, Christian Javier, I believe, or I don't know if McCullers or Javier is going to go game 3, but they better put Javier 3. They better put McCullers 4 because of that elbow. And if Javier can get him in game 3, Eric, I think, Phillies win. This is what I'm thinking. Astros take game 2, Phillies take game 3. Or no, I think Astros can take 2 and 3, Phillies take 4, and then 5 would go to possibly, I guess, the Astros. Would that give them 4 wins? Yeah, that would give them 4 wins. I don't look, man, dude. I'm so out of sorts right now. Like I still can't believe that the Astros went up 5-0. Kyle Tucker's 2 home runs, and they lost 6 to like. What is life, dude? What is life right now? I'm so thankful we're in the World Series, but what like, please come on, like we're not gonna do this again, right? Right, guys, right, fam, y'all with me? Are y'all with me?
Verlander said he was asked what happened in the 4th and 5th inning. He said, "That's a good question. Maybe I just wasn't executing pitches as well. They got some traffic on the base and managed to have some really good at bats and put the ball in play. Yeah, I feel like I just need to execute a little bit better." And he said later, I give a lot of credit to them as a lineup. They laid off some good pitches and they were able to, when I did execute pitches, they were able to foul it off and put in play and find a couple of hits that way. Then when I did when I did make a mistake, they hit it hard. So they have a great lineup. They've been hot, and we knew that coming in. To cool them off, I feel like you have to execute. And he did for the first 3 innings. They looked like they were totally overmatched. And it just, that's baseball, man.
No,
It's baseball.
no, yeah, I hear you. And Tony, I said at one point, I said on the show tonight, and I was tweeting all night that this really was a game that they had to have. Now, I'm not saying that it's definitely going to happen, but I think if you get game 2, I think the Astros take game 3. I think the Phillies win game 4, and the Astros win game 5. Coming back to Houston, you have momentum, and I think the Astros can still clinch in 6. It may take 7 now, but it's still possible. And we've seen Houston teams in the past go down. Maybe the Houston Rockets. I'm trying to draw up some different comparisons. The Rockets were down 0-2. The paper route choke city. The kiss of death, Mario Ellie, we talked about before. They came back. I was at that game 7 when they beat Phoenix, and then when they won that title, Rudy T's famous, never underestimate the heart of a champion. This team has the makeup. It has the longevity. It has the depth. But even in that depth, even in having more bats and more people in the lineup, you still have to go in there and do your job. We're going to put him in timeout. There you go. All right.
So in tomorrow's game, we got Zach Wheeler, who's pitched very well this playoff. He's 1-1 with a 1.78 ERA. He has 25 strikeouts. Framber Valdez was made official today. He would be the game 2 starter for the Astros. He's 1-0 with a 1.42 ERA with 15 strikeouts. So definitely this is going to be an interesting matchup. Now, Framber Valdez, in each one of his previous 2 postseason starts, he's made some type of fielding error that's led to runs. So as we saw with Justin Verlander today, the Phillies will capitalize on it. I know the Yankees maybe did not capitalize as much as they should. The Mariners maybe didn't capitalize as much as they should. But this Phillies offense, they will. They thrive on this. This is what we've seen them make these comebacks against the Cardinals. Then who else was it? I know it was the Padres, but who was before it? You're not even paying attention to me, are you?
No, I'm sorry. I'm trying to trick with the conversation on the side while you're talking. I apologize.
But whoever it was, but basically it just was. Hopefully, Framber just comes out and pitches well. So I'm not going to get into the matchups, but we do know that there's a lot of lefties in the lineup. So we'll see what happens there.
Well, I just think at the end of the day, when I look at Phillies Road, they took care of the Cardinals pretty easily. They've only lost 2 games in the playoffs. Do you know the 2 games they lost were when Aaron Nola and Zach Wheeler were on the mound in away games? They've won every home game in that stadium. That's what makes me nervous about losing game 1. That's why I thought game 1 was a must win.
Right.
Tomorrow is a must win. And a player's not going to come out and say it, but it is. Dusty Baker's not going to be fired over this. Justin Verlander, if he doesn't make a defensive snafu, more than likely they get out of the inning. Maybe those opportunities for Philadelphia go away, and that Real Muto solo shot only gives them 1 run and makes it 5-4. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or there's so many different things that can happen, but that's why a team that depends on its defense, and that's one of your X factors, and the other team that doesn't, when that flips, that changes the game, because defense does win championships and pitching wins championships. And their pitching, tip your hat to them, locked up this, strikeouts, flyouts, groundouts. They just stymied the Astros offense. They even fought against a Bregman double. That almost went out of the park. He got to third. They had a guys second and third. I was calling for Diaz to come out. Alex even texted me from the game. He said, he's your guy. Remember, you called it. This is his time. And then his last text to me was brutal. So,
yeah. And
baseball's fun.
Everybody's saying you're going to fire Dusty. If the Astros lose the series, he's already out of a job because his contract is up. So that's one
he's
thing.
Been invited back. They just haven't offered him a contract. So he can accept.
And I honestly think.
No, hey, I'm just telling right now, I don't think Dusty's going
It's
anywhere.
one game. It's one game, guys. Astros can go on and win the next 4 games. We don't know what's going to happen because the Astros pitching rotation is much deeper. If Verlander's our weakest pitcher, and yes, he's going to pitch again in this series. Yes,
Everybody's
y'all.
like, no.
Everybody's like, well, I don't want to ever see him pitch again. Y'all will be begging for him to come back next year. So Justin
Did you
Verlander is
know?
what?
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
So Justin Verlander is going to be pitching again in the series. So he's not going anywhere, and we'll be begging for him to come back because he is a great pitcher. He just didn't pitch great today.
Yeah, he's like 167-2, or like he's like got some crazy number in 2 when having a 5-run lead. Like, like it was like I was like, oh my god, he has that many. I didn't like. I know he has a lot of wins, but literally, this is only the 3rd time that Justin Verlander has had a 5-run lead
Yeah.
and lost it. So
As Jack
no, he's
says,
not.
it was really just one. Where is it? Jack, there's a lot. As
Oh,
Jack
dude, people are.
says,
It was one bad
it was
inning.
one bad inning, honestly. And then the second inning, where he gave up 2 runs, that was kind of. I think that was JT Realmuto hit that double
Mm.
or something. But yeah, it was just a bad day for Justin Verlander. Yes, he had a bad game against the Mariners, but then he pitched really good for against the Yankees. So I know it's a World Series; it's a whole different ball game. But let's see what he does in next game because he will pitch again if the Astros as long as the Astros
Let's
make it that far.
let's not hold on. No, no. It's too the wound is too open. It hasn't had time to heal. We're not going to talk about a Verlander start. We got a game 2 to win, and who do we have going tomorrow?
Framber Valdez and Wheeler. We already talked about it.
Okay, I know. So that's what we need to focus on. We need to
Right.
focus on Framber. We need to focus on Wheeler. Wheeler has been nails, but let's get him. Let's hopefully Valdez's hook is working, and it'd be interesting to see if they replace Mancini in the lineup.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of which, Aledmys Diaz leaning into that pitch, old Craig Biggio style. Biggio
That
was
was
a little bit,
awesome.
yeah, Biggio was a little bit more sly about it or whatever the term is.
No,
But
I think Biggio just got the calls more. I mean,
yeah,
Biggio's lean-ins were way obvious. And I think as he was trying to reach the record, they started calling him on it. But it actually, when you watch a replay, it doesn't look like he leans into it. It looks like he just turned and he didn't really have a defense to, pull away. Oh well.
yeah. And so definitely, and I think Robertson was like, that was a strike and you gave it a ball, but it doesn't matter because it was the final out of the game anyway. Um, so we'll talk about Verlander being back next year, Mike. I know, but I know Astros fans during off season are gonna be like, yeah, we want Justin Verlander back because he's Justin Verlander. He's possibly to win a Cy Young. Yes, he may have struggled in this one game, but we'll see. Anyway, guys, we're gonna keep on going in a little circle here and keep on rounding about. So let's go
Yeah,
and wrap
we are
up.
not going to talk about Justin Verlander coming back. I'm just going to say this.
Yeah,
I don't
I agree with
know.
Greg. He definitely leaned. He definitely
Well,
leaned, and it was very obvious. So
because we need to have a conversation, family, about whether it's really worth re-signing Justin Verlander with the amount of pitching that we have going into 2023. And I'm being dead serious. All right, so hey, dude, I'm H. Wheelhouse. He's Eric Huysman. Guys, thank y'all for subscribing to us. Thank y'all for, if you just found us, thank you for listening. We appreciate the support. It's been a fun ride, and we don't intend to stop anytime soon. So stay tuned into us. Eric, what do you got to wrap us up, dude?
that's it. Hopefully, the Astros at least split the series tomorrow with Framber Valdez on the mound. He definitely expected a lot of ground balls, and we'll see what happens. But my name's Eric Huysman. You can find me at Eric Talk Astros. He's Brett H Town Wheelhouse. You can find him at H Town Wheelhouse, and we are the Locked On Astros podcast. Your team every day, even after the Astros lose Game 1 of the World Series. Make sure you subscribe to us and go Astros.